So today we're going to be talking about La Poesía by Pablo Neruda. So Neruda was a Chilean uh, diplomat and poet. He was born in 1904 and died in, I think, 1973. And there's actually a conspiracy theory that he was murdered because of his political beliefs. Um, but that we're not going to talk about that today. That is something you can explore on your own. It's honestly quite possible. But anyway, so he was very well known because of his political beliefs in Chile. He identified as a communist. He was very outspoken on his support for Joseph Stalin and for other members and leaders of the Communist Party. And this actually made him be exiled for a hot minute, because Chile was so anti-communist as like a regime, as a just as a country in general. So it was very not good for him to be so outspoken about it. But he was also very famous for his love poems, especially, and those are still quoted heavily now. And he actually won the Nobel Prize in Literature, like I think while he was in exile. So he had a lot going on for him during his lifetime. So this poem is called La Poesía. It's poetry. It's interpreted as like how he got into poetry as a young child, like, and his exposure and with it on the outside world and how he's taken it on, um, like through his political writings and how he took it on. Sorry. How he took it on through his political writings and then like translated it into something to use for the rest of his life, not just as like a hobby on one part. So I found um, a recording of him reciting his own poem, and I don't really know where like the first half is because it's not what they considered it to be, a part of the poem, but we can listen to it anyway, and I think it kind of gives some background information. So,
Yo tenía 14 años y era orgullosamente oscuro, delgado, ceñido y fruncido, funeral y ceremonioso. Yo vivía con las arañas, humedecido por el bosque. Me conocían los coleópteros y las abejas tricolores. Yo dormía con las perdices, sumergido bajo la menta. Y fue a esa edad, llegó la poesía a buscarme. No sé de dónde salió, de invierno o río. No sé cómo ni cuándo. No eran voces, no eran palabras ni silencio. Pero desde una calle me llamaba, desde las ramas de la noche. De pronto entre los otros, entre fuegos violentos o regresando solo, allí estaba sin rostro, me tocaba. Yo no sabía qué decir, mi boca no sabía nombrar, mis ojos eran ciegos y algo golpeaba en mi alma, fiebre o alas perdidas. Y me fui haciendo solo, descifrando aquella quemadura, escribí la primera línea vaga, vaga, sin cuerpo, pura tontería, pura sabiduría del que no sabe nada. Y vi de pronto el cielo desgranado y abierto, planetas, plantaciones palpitantes, La sombra perforada, acribillada por flechas, fuego y flores, la noche arrolladora, el universo. Y yo, mínimo ser, ebrio del gran vacío constelado, a semejanza, a imagen del misterio, me sentí parte pura del abismo, rodé con las estrellas, mi corazón se desató en el viento.
So I thought that um, was really beautiful. I think I'm I can't say anything for the video quality because like it was made in 2004. um, oof, that was oh my god, that was almost like 20 years ago. Whoa. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna get back to analyzing, and I thought that having him read it in Spanish was a lot more powerful. I mean, like in English, sure, but I feel like a lot more things are more emphasized when they're in their native language and they're um, yeah. So the most effective parts of the poem that I found, we can start off definitely with the connotative diction. I mean, he explains to us how he slept under the trees and how he was approached by nature herself. And we can go back and like use examples like um, something started in my soul, fever or forgotten wings, and I made my own way deciphering that fire. Like that's just, like you can see that when you say it, or when you read it, like in your, of course, when you read it in your head. And I mean, I think that a lot of people can relate to being inspired by outside things, and I don't know, just taking them back to that one area or that one incident, right? So the next thing I found really well done was the personification. So like um basically nature took on the role of major influencer, almost like a very physical figurehead, like a parent or a guardian. He mentions how she calls him, and she she summons him. Um, and I think that like giving nature and poetry like um, its own figure and its own being, besides just like the thought concept, really like allows for this to be, oh, he was he was taken under the wing and he was approached. Um, and the last thing I found, like the punctuation, it's not really written correctly because I had to put it into a PowerPoint. But like right here, like you can anticipate what's coming next, and you can really like get a feel for how important it was for him to select each phrase and each word and make it into something most important and most and very beautiful, honestly, to hear and to read and to listen. Well, I already said here. So anyway, um, I think that like parts like this, like, and suddenly I saw the heavens unfasted and opened. Um, like those are the types of things that really make it. So the last part is, I mean, like life changes interests, but people really stay the same. And I feel like he really stuck to his roots in poetry, taking it from his political career. So, yeah.